Okay, so today, I feel like I've been getting a lot of questions about, um, there we go. I feel like I've been getting a lot of questions about what to say in certain situations. And so I put this together a couple years ago, but I read through everything today and I updated a few things. And these are my exact scripts for what I say when people say no, or not right now, or they ghost you, or they give you some other objection. But first, I just want to remind you that objections, I mean, if you're getting them, because I also know as a new coach, I got a lot more objections than I get now, because as a new coach, you're also just starting to build your reputation as a fitness professional. So you might be super gung-ho and really excited, but people that are watching you, they're just starting to think of you in that light. And you haven't built enough trust with them yet that you're not going anywhere, for one, and two, that you can help get them results, because most everybody, every female and most males, I feel like, have tried tons of diets and things like that in the past and been unsuccessful. So you're kind of up against their own limiting beliefs. And so objections are normal. They happen to everyone. I mean, they're bound to happen. A lot of times they're people's defense mechanism, because they really are their limiting beliefs. It's them stopping themselves. So it's not really anything that you're saying or doing. It's all those things that they have going on in their minds about, they think that they're going to fail. They think that they're going to spend all this money and not see a return on their investment. They're afraid maybe you're going to take their money and you're not then going to help them. They're afraid of looking stupid. Like, it's really, so much of it is our limiting beliefs. And so it's something that all of us get. It's not a no, ever. It's usually just a learning experience. And I've seen so many coaches give up over getting these objections, and it's like, really, it's a learning experience for you. And it's good to know what like, how are you coming across on social media? Because as you'll see, I'll go through this, but when you start getting the same objection over and over again, you can tackle that in a public way. But they're just a challenge. They are not like an insurmountable thing. And so if you're getting a lot of objections, that's normal. Know that that's normal, but know that the longer you stick with this, the easier it is to build that trust with people. And as people are watching you, they start trusting you. And and also, because you're going to be storytelling in your posts, you're tackling in a public way their limiting beliefs. So I'm going to run through some of our common objections, and you guys, I will share this document with you after, so you don't have to write down any of these scripts. I'll share it with you so you can copy and paste and tweak it into your own words. But I'm going to run through some of the common objections that we get and the exact words that I use in response to that. So you guys know, one of the, if not the biggest objection we get is, I don't have the money. So there's a few different ways that you can combat that you can reply to them. So I'm going to just run through these. The first one is, you can break down the cost and explain the value to them. So I would say, well, you're in luck. This month, that program is on super special. It's $160 total for the bundle pack, and that would include everything you need. Access to Beachbody On Demand, which allows you to stream every other program that Beachbody has ever released, and that's typically typically $99. It includes your first 30-serving bag of Shakeology, typically $130, color-coded portion-controlled containers, a meal plan, a nutrition guide, access to my group, and most important, me as your coach through the entire journey. And all signed up for your business for free, which is typically $40. So it's a killer deal and huge savings, because I feel like this is also why you don't send somebody your link right away when they say, okay, girl, I've been watching you, I'm in, send me the link, I want to sign up. Never send them the link right then, because if you don't break it down and explain the value to them, $160 is a lot of money. But when you break it down and explain that they get, meal plans and 30 meals and built-in motivation and accountability and access to a gym for a year, like, if you break it down, $160 is actually a smoking deal. Another thing that they might say to you is, sounds great, but I don't have the money right now. I would respond with, I totally understand how you feel. So this is the feel, felt, found method. So I totally understand how you feel. I felt the exact same way when I joined my very first challenge group 3 years ago. I joined initially trying to get ready for my wedding. And if you know about wedding planning, you know it isn't cheap. We literally had no extra funds to spare, and we were already dealing with thousands in credit card debt. I actually had to put my first program on a credit card. Terrible, I know, but I'm debt-free now because of Beachbody. I just knew that if I cut back on my other spending, I could make it work. Plus, I was desperate to feel amazing, not just in my wedding dress, but in my body. And then in my first month of working the business, I earned enough to cover the cost of that initial investment, plus profited over $400 in my first month, and it's gone up from there. Trust me, I get not having the money, but I also know that sometimes you have to do something out of your comfort zone to get the results in life you want. I made a big sacrifice when I first joined, but that choice changed my life and I've never looked back. So I don't know what your story is, but most of you probably decided, I can't afford this when you decided to afford it, right? That was you talking yourself out of it for a while, because we've all spent money on things that we can't afford. Everybody has. So what is your story that you can say, I totally get how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found is this. Worst case scenario, you can explain to them, when I first started, I gave myself a time limit to make it work and see results. I said, okay, if this doesn't work out in 3 months, then I'll cancel my account, free of charge, by the way. And the worst thing that will have happened is I'll get a good life-changing workout program to keep, tried a new superfood shake and got a little healthier. Not the worst thing. Or another kind of worst case scenario is you can offer them the 30-day money-back guarantee. I don't feel like we offer that enough. I don't ever lead with that, but if someone's really hesitant to the price, then I'll remind them of the 30-day money-back guarantee, and I would say, oh, trust me. If they say, I don't have the money, trust me, I get it. When I was joining my very first group with a program, we were planning our wedding with literally not a penny to spare. LA weddings aren't cheap, and thousands in debt already. But I had gotten to a place with my body where enough was enough and I needed to try something else. I was tired of living in a body I hated. And when my coach told me about the 30-day money-back guarantee policy, it made it easier for sure. You can get 100% of your money back even if you drink the whole bag and love your workout. That's how much we believe in our products. And then, of course, you can do the priorities comparison thing. I don't have enough money. I can't afford this. Then you would reply something like, yeah, a lot of people think it's a high cost upfront, but it actually ended up saving us money. I was paying $40 a month for my gym that I barely used and had no support, plus spending so much more money on food because I was meal planning and prepping. But when you spend lots of money here and there, you don't really notice as much as when you pay it all at once. But once I invested that $160 of my hard-earned cash, and to be honest, I actually had to put my first purchase on a credit card, I knew that I had to give it my 100% for those 30 days. I had to make that investment worth it because our family seriously couldn't afford it. And that one choice changed my life and I've never looked back. I mean, you just basically want to relate to them with those struggles. Let them know like it's normal to think that, but infuse your story as much as you can so that it doesn't seem like you don't understand and you're not being empathetic. They just, I mean, again, these are limiting beliefs. So people just want help kind of talking them through it. And all of that stuff makes sense. Now, obviously, you're not using all of these, but those are different kind of replies that you could do depending on the scenario. You maybe also hear a lot, I don't have the time. So if someone says to you, I don't have the time, of course, you can relate your story. So I would say something like, oh my gosh, I feel you, girl. But you can seriously build your business in 30 to 60 minutes a day. I spend a lot more time on it now because I do it full time. And when I was working full time, which was for the first 1.5 years in this business, I just saw what this was doing for other people, so I made it work. I got my workout in the morning and then did my messages and connections at night after we had dinner and we were winding down. The cool thing is that you get to build it on your time, after the kids go to bed, early morning, late at night, etc. I just found a schedule that worked for me, which lots of times was while we were just sitting on the couch watching TV at night. And now that I do this full time, I have more time than ever to live life my way. Because I feel like when people say I don't have the time, and most of you probably also think, I don't have the time to work the business. You probably also have that excuse that you give yourself. But the truth is, this might add something else to their plates, but we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's a decision. If you don't tell your time where to go, it just falls through the fingertips. But if you work hard now, and I'm saying this to you guys, if you work hard now and you feel really busy and stressed right now, it's short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. This will eventually give you so much more time freedom. You could reply with, we have a training for that. So you could say, this is such a common misconception that it takes a ton of time to build the business and get your workout in, but almost our entire team work full-time jobs or are full-time moms or are full-time moms with full-time jobs. And so we have training and documents on how you can seriously get everything you need to get done in 1 power hour. We have so many examples of women who are choosing where their time goes. And I know I'd rather spend that extra 30 minutes here and there doing something good for my family rather than surfing the web or zoning out on some TV show. Now I play on the internet as my job while watching TV in the background. You can also say, give them the story of our workouts are designed for that. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I used to work out at a gym, like working out at home has saved me so much time. So some of these are kind of things that you could say to somebody who's interested in coaching, and some of these are things that you could say to people who are wanting to be customers, right? And sometimes it's both. But for me, this saved a lot of time. So what I would say if someone, said I didn't have the time and they were just wanting to be a customer as far as like workouts, I would say, girl, I feel you. But that is why I love these workouts. Not only are they just 30 to 40 minutes, but I get to do them at home. So I never have to worry about packing a gym bag or commuting to and from anywhere. I literally wake up, sometimes in my workout clothes, roll out of bed and downstairs into my living room and press play. When I used to go to the gym, I spent an hour minimum, either in a group exercise class or trying to pass the time on the treadmill or elliptical. But I get better results now in 30 minutes from home than I ever did in a gym. And since we have a private group of women who will be going through the same journey you are, you'll still get the group support. And I never have to worry about missing class because something came up, because I get to choose when class is in session. Right? So these are, obviously you can tell, these are my stories. I was a group fitness junkie. So that's, I'm in, and, I was in debt when we found this business and all that. So I'm just trying to infuse as much of me into these replies, but also help them kind of work through these excuses in their mind. Okay. A big one, I think it's the money and the shake objection that we get most. And sometimes they're one and the same. So what if someone says, do I have to get the shake? So if they want to be a coach, but they don't want to, they just want to pay the I'll tell you right now, I do not enroll anybody with the $40 sign up fee ever, never. 0% of the time do I let somebody pay $40 to be a coach on the team if they're not willing to invest in the programs. And this is why I say, technically you can just pay the $40 sign up fee and then order your programs after that. But honestly, it really isn't worth you being a coach if you're not going to be drinking Shakeology. To be successful as a coach, you really need to believe in the products. And most people need help with both fitness and nutrition. Shakeology is key for a lot of people to be able to stay on track and see results when they're dieting. I don't usually like to have people join my team that aren't drinking Shakeology because I don't want salespeople on my team. I want people to share their experiences and their stories and have those stories inspire others to join you. So if you're not using Shakeology and you're still selling Shakeology, then you're just a salesperson. You know what I mean? And to build a long-term business that grows, you will need to have people drinking Shakeology. You won't be able to build a business on just selling fitness programs alone. Plus, if you're not going to be drinking it, it really doesn't make sense to be a coach because then you're just paying the $16 a month fee, right? And then this maybe as a customer could be a coach response, but this is the best way to get results. So I would say, well, it's part of the program. And I mean, if they say, do I have to drink the shake? Well, it's part of the program. And the only way I can guarantee results is if you agree to get the shake as well. Many people don't know that the biggest part of seeing results and losing fat is what you put into your body. Fitness is important, but nutrition can make or break your progress. The best results happen when you do both. Fuel your body properly and work out. And since I can't come to your house and make sure you're eating on plan, at least I can know once a day that you're feeding your body exactly what it needs with these nutrients. Think about it. You wouldn't brush half your teeth and expect the same results as someone who brushes their whole mouth, You've also probably heard, I already have like a weight loss shake, or I don't want to do a weight loss shake. I don't believe in those weight loss shakes. You can say, as for the shake, I 100% understand your hesitation to it. I was super hesitant to it at first because, as I said, I'm a foodie. I have always preferred to eat my calories, not drink them, except for wine. But this shake has completely changed my mind. I don't go a day without drinking it. Reason being is this: it's a daily dose of dense nutrition. Each shake has 9 servings of fruits and veggies and over 70 superfoods. Because you're getting such amazing nutrition, you don't crave things. Seriously, it's kind of a miracle. Plus, it helps with energy and reduces bloating. It's not a weight loss shake, so you don't have to worry about it not being sustainable. I think you'll love it and want to stay drinking it, but if you don't, you won't have a huge weight gain or anything. It's not like that. Because some people obviously get nervous that they have to be on the shake to lose weight and then they're going to just rebound, because that's what diet products do. Like, that is what our market, so many products on the market, and I know because I tried a ton of them, do. It's like, if you're on these products, great, you lose weight. But what happens if you go off of them? So, reassuring people that it's not a weight loss thing. It's also the best deal. So you can say, you know, if they're like, I can't afford Shakeology or, you know, whatever, you can say, in fact, it's actually a way better deal with Shakeology. And I hate to see people talk themselves out of it because I know every penny counts. I can almost guarantee you'll want to get Shakeology after going through the challenge and seeing everyone else's results. The workouts on their own are $99 for customers, and Shakeology alone is $130 plus $10 to $14 in shipping. But with the bundle pack, you get the entire program, containers, meal plan, and access to my private group for just $160. It's a meal replacement and provides all your needed daily nutrients. So I actually budget into my food budget since it's a meal and it breaks down to $375 to $425 a meal, depending on how you enroll. And the healthiest meal of the day. Does that help? Okay, another one. You've heard people say, I already have protein shake. I would reply, well, with Shakeology, not only are you getting protein, but you're also getting your daily requirements for vitamins and minerals, plus 9 servings of fruits and veggies. It's the equivalent of eating 5 plates of salad, so it's much more than protein. You can do the program without Shakeology and use your own protein powder, but I have found that people tend not to have nearly as much success or see as many results with it, because here's the thing. Even on your best day eating, you're still not giving your body 100% of its nutritional requirements because our food is so processed and full of junk, even when it's technically clean. Then you go on a diet and reduce your calories, which in turn reduces your nutrients even further. And when your body is deficient in a nutrient, your brain manifests it as a craving. So not only are you left feeling lethargic and lacking energy, because you're not getting as many nutrients or calories, you also end up craving junk and you can't sustain your diet. I generally make Shakeology a requirement for my group because I fully believe in supporting your body and giving it the nutrients it needs to make this lifestyle change. It's not about dieting and losing weight. We're wanting to focus on health and make sure that we're feeding our body well. Shakeology is honestly the only thing that does all of that without adding in fake junk. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. But I know you get what you pay for, and I would pay twice as much as they charge for Shakeology because I know what it does for my body. As far as the feeding and pregnant and breastfeeding, my reply is always, well, it's best to talk to your doctor. Mine was fine with it, so I drink it while pregnant and nursing, but definitely check with your doctor. When it ever comes to medical claims, you can say what you do or what you've heard, but you always need to make sure for liability reasons that you let them know they need to check with their doctor. You know, like, I have diabetes, can I do this? Best to check with your doctor, right? Like, you don't want to make any medical claims. Okay, now this is if someone's wanting to join your team and they think they wouldn't be a good coach because they're not at their goal weight. I would reply, actually, that's even better. Nobody relates to perfect. What people want to see is someone who is struggling the same way they are, but that you're doing something every day to be better. I feel like I'm not at my goal body, but I share my journey openly because I know people can relate to my story, the good and the bad. Almost every single woman you can think of wants to improve her body in some way. And by you showing up and sharing your story, you give them the hope that they can do it too. People can relate way more to someone who is on their journey, not someone who has already made it there. Think about it. If I didn't show you my journey and the transformation along the way, would you have reached out to me? What if they say, I wouldn't be a good coach because I'm not a salesperson? I would reply, thank God. I actually don't want anyone who sells anything on my team. I know that people purchase from me, but I honestly don't feel like I ever sell anything. I just show up and share. Sorry, I was looking at something else. I just show up and share my story and hope to inspire people along the way. I mean, Beachbody isn't going to be for everyone. There are people that need to go to a gym or are runners or love CrossFit or whatever, but I know what has worked for me. So I share my story and invite them to join me in what has worked for me. But if at the end of the day, all I do is inspire people to be more active and eat better more of the time, that's still a win, even if they never buy a thing. And you guys, that's true. That is the way that I treat my business. I don't ever put a pressure on a sale. I'm not desperate for, to get yeses. I am not ever panicking about Success Club. This has been, I mean, you know, you guys are walking in on where I'm at now in the business, but I put this document together and I updated it today, but I put this together back, like I had to update the scripts because it was back when we were selling DVDs, not Beachbody On Demand. And this was a thing for my entire time. I've always treated my social media as like, I just want to inspire people to be better. It's not our job to make everybody use and love and believe in Beachbody. It's just our job to love it ourselves and then share it with everyone. You've probably heard me say that before. But I honestly think that's part of why I'm so successful is I really don't feel like I'm ever selling anything. I really feel like I've done every diet on the planet, and this is the one thing that worked for me. And so I just want to share it with people. And if all I'm doing and all you are doing is inspiring people who are watching you to treat themselves better, that's a win, even if they're not purchasing challenge packs from you, right? So I feel like I just wanted to call that out. If you take the pressure off the sale and you really lead with passion, I don't know, that's just served me really well in my career. Sometimes people think they wouldn't be a good coach because they don't have a big market or they're from a small town. So I would reply, that actually has nothing to do with it. We run everything online, and I've met 99% of my customers through social media. So you can literally be anywhere in the world and work this business. Fitness and health is the biggest industry in America, and people love convenience. We bring those two together. I have tons of trainings on how to reach people through social media and make connections. I started my page with 0 followers too, and now I have hundreds of thousands, and I'll share all my tips with you, right? And when I edited this today, I had 14,000 followers or something like that. I edited it to, now I have hundreds of thousands, but when I made this draft, it was 14,000. You don't even need to say a number. You can just say, I started my page with 0 followers too, but I'll share my social media tips with you, right? You don't have, don't compare any numbers or anything. Okay, now this is a big one. This is like when people start ghosting you. So if you write a message and maybe you get all the way through and then they stop replying, or maybe you send the first message and they stop replying, or you've talked a few times and they stop replying or whatever. So if they read your message, committed, and then didn't answer you, here are 7 different things that this is actually like these are the ones that I use all the time. So maybe you've combated all those other objections, but these are the ghosting objections, because ghosting is another objection tactic as well, I feel like. So you can send them something asking for feedback and say, hey girl, I see you read my messages and haven't responded. I'm sorry if I made you feel like you couldn't talk to me about your doubts about the program. I know you were so excited for it, and I was excited to work with you. I'd love to get you started, but I totally understand that it's not for everyone. So if you could just let me know how I could have explained it better or answered your questions more clearly, that would really help me be a better coach. I talk to people all day long about making this decision, so I'd love to be able to communicate better. I feel like that one, once you kind of take responsibility and ownership for things, or like say that maybe you did something wrong, that kind of spurs them to be like, no, oh my gosh, girl, it wasn't you. I've just been busy, or I just don't know if it's for me, blah, 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 whatever. Another one you can do, if they were supposed to sign up and they didn't, and they're ghosting you, you can relate to their why, because remember, you've done relationship building. So you've talked to them about, and you know why they wanted to join you. So I could say something like, hey girl, have you signed up yet? I don't see anything, and I didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about you. That was one of my favorite lines, was just circling back, didn't want you to think I forgot about you, or just following up, didn't want you to think I forgot about you. So that was one of my favorite lines. So I said that a lot in a lot of my conversations. I didn't see anything. I didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about you. I was inspired by the way you wanted to build this business for your little ones while still spending time by their side every day. That is a mission a ton of my coaches are working towards. I have saved a spot for you in my group, and it's still yours if you want it, but if now isn't the right time, let me know so I can be sure to offer it to someone else. You guys, can you mute your phones? Brenda, I think your phone's unmuted. And that's one thing that I also do, is I always try to offer them an out. So if you can see here, I say, if now isn't the right time, let me know so I can offer it to someone else. So I'm always saying, if now isn't the right time, because I don't care if they're yes or no. I just want a response either way. So I'm trying to offer them an out. This one I started doing because I've had a few people, I buy a lot of direct marketing products. You know, I use Roden & Fields, I use doTERRA oils, I've tried Monet hair products, I have done the Scentsy, Lip Sense, whatever. I've tried a bunch. And there's some people that I really like to work with. And so they've approached me with like, hey, you know, I'm working towards this big goal, and if I'm planning on buying something anyway and I like the person, then that has spurred me to be like, oh, sure, let me place my order. So what you could say is, like if it's the last couple days in the month, this person's been saying they want to join you, they keep putting it off, you could say, hey girl, it looks like you still haven't signed up at that link I sent you. I know you're super busy and life can get crazy sometimes, but I promise it takes 3 minutes, and I would love to get you plugged into the group ASAP. I'm also working towards a huge major goal with my team, and you would really help me out with that. Or is now not the best time for you? Again, giving them an out. You can blame it on Facebook and play dumb. Hey, you, wanted to send another quick message to check in and make sure you got the last one that I sent. I know sometimes Facebook can be wacky and I don't always see my messages. Just didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about you. Any plans for the weekend? You can say you've got a new group, because you do, right? You have new groups running every month. Hey, babe, just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. Hope your summer was amazing. I can't believe we're already into the holiday season. Looks like maybe you were busy and we didn't get you plugged into our last group. I know how busy life can get, but I do have another group starting in November, and I wanted to offer a spot to you if you're still interested. I'm just wrapping up week 5 and totally obsessed. I don't think I've seen my body respond so well to a program ever. I love chatting with you and was really hoping to work together soon. You can tell them you're holding a spot. This was another favorite of mine. Just finalizing the details for our group. I wanted to check in and see if you're still interested in joining us, or if not, maybe now isn't the right time for you. Should I keep holding your spot? And then this one, if you send a bunch of follow-ups and you're still not getting a reply, this one pretty much 99% of the times will. I would say, hey girl, I swear I'm not trying to be a fly on the wall that you want to swat, but I had you on my list of people to follow up with, and before I take you off of it, that's another key phrase, before I take you off of it. People don't like being taken off of lists usually. Before I take you off of it, I thought I'd check in just one more time. I take people asking me for help seriously, and I want to make sure I'm able to support and help them. Are you still looking for accountability or help reaching your goals, or are you all set right now? Right? So you can see in these, there's a bunch of different things that you can say, and I'm always trying to give them an out, because again, I don't care if it's a yes or no, I just want to hear back. And if it's a no, like, no thanks, I'm set right now, or I just signed up for a marathon, or I actually joined a gym, or I'm trying a personal trainer or whatever, then you know, okay, cool, I'm going to follow up with them in 3 months, right? Like you always want to follow up until the end of time. Unless they're like, stop contacting me, I hate your guts, block, I'm going to block you. Then you're like, okay, maybe I'll move on from that one. Okay, this is one, if people have a fear of social media, or they don't want to post on, if you're a teacher or you're in a profession where you don't want to post on social or something like that, there's a few responses you can do. I didn't at first either, because guys, I did not want to post on social media at first. So again, this is all true stuff for me, because these are not, like, having objections are just normal. So I had all these objections too that people came to me with, and probably you had a lot of those objections as well. And so you're just infusing your story. So I would say, I didn't at first either. Girl, I get it. I'm sure it doesn't seem like it, but I used to hate posting on Facebook. I was a once or twice a month person. Always on it, but never posting. But then I found out I can build and run a 6-figure business a year from home on Facebook, instead of having it be just a time suck where I stalked all my friends and strangers. I would much rather change my family's life and have the opportunity to help others than mindlessly scrolling to see what all the people I pretty much haven't talked to since high school and college are up to. If people care, say in any way that they couldn't do it because, their family follows them, or they're nervous about their coworker, blah, blah, blah. You could say, I'm not sure how much of my story you've seen. And this is, again, my story. So you would have to figure out, like, how did you get over posting when you cared what your friends and family thought, right? So this is my story. But I reply with, I'm not sure how much of my story you've seen, but I actually used to be super insecure. Always wondering what people thought of me. Did I look dumb? What if that was totally stupid? Crap, should I delete? But then I started just sharing my journey and supporting others slowly. And I started to see that a lot of people were really encouraging of what I was doing. And now I don't care at all what others think about. Now I don't care at all what others think about what I share and how much I post. Because by me posting and sharing my journey, I've been able to get my family out of debt, fire my boss, and work for myself full time, bring my husband home, and help change a ton of people's lives. Any of the people that would have talked about me behind my back aren't even in my friends list anymore, because I learned through putting myself out there that life is too dang short to spend time on people who want to make you feel small. Another thing that you could say when people are just really resistant to social media, you could reply with, well, you can totally build a business face-to-face, but honestly, I love the way social media lets me reach so many people at the same time, while I'm sitting right there with my family nearby. I built this business to making 6 figures just by connecting through others on Facebook and Instagram. People have their phones in their hands at all times and are constantly scrolling the feed. So I'd like to take advantage of that and show up in their feed pretty frequently. Again, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. You could just say, I built this business 100% through Facebook and Instagram, right? You don't have to talk about income or anything like that. I just literally put scripts of what I was saying at the time. Okay, now these are like, I've given you a bunch of excuses. These are grasping at straws. So understand, and I've already hit on this, but it's really important to understand that objections that you're getting from other people are just their limiting beliefs. And they only exist for them if you let them. They're all an attempt to protect themselves from fear of failure and rejection. It has nothing to do with our business and opportunity, and just everything to do with where they're at in their lives. So I heard this so much in the first 2 years of my coaching. I'll have to ask my husband. I would say, but again, you're building this relationship with them, you're going back and forth, and you're hearing them pour their hearts out to you about why they want this. So if someone tells you all the reasons that they want it, and then you get to the price, and you know that this would be great for them, and then they reply with, I'll have to ask my husband, I would say, okay, great. I want you to share with him everything that you've just told me about why you want to join and how much it would mean to you. And if it helps, let him know that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And then ask for when you should be following up. So you can say, do you know what time when you'll talk to him? So if she says tonight or Tuesday or whatever, then you know to put it in your thing to follow up with her on that day. If they say, but I'm an introvert, you can reply, some of the top coaches are actually introvert, but honestly, this is one of the best options for introverts because you do everything from your computer and the privacy of your own home, and it actually allows you to be a little more intimate and really connect with people. Some of my best friends are top coaches and earning 6 figures and are crazy introverts, but they are successful because they get to do this from home without having to be face-to-face and actually talk to others. Being shy has very little to do with your ability to be successful. Did you guys know Lori, I mean, there's this, and I don't know, maybe Tanya, I don't even know if she's introvert or extrovert. I'm an extrovert, but I know Lori, Letty, and Emily are extremely introverted. There's just in our squad, those are 3 top coaches, right? And probably a lot of you are introvert as well. If they don't want to sign up for recurring stuff, I tell them you totally don't have to. Ordering this will automatically enroll you for auto shipments every 30 days. Super easy to switch your flavor, delay, or cancel your order. You can do a live chat online or a 3-minute phone call, and I can even help you do it. Should I go ahead and send the link? If someone says they don't want to sign up for recurring stuff, I try to get over these objections really quick. So if you can tell, I'm not like going on and on and on about it. I'm like acting like it's no big deal because it's not a big deal. It's like, if we like go over the top, above and beyond, explaining how it's no big deal, just by you over explaining, they think, oh, this is a big deal. But if you just do it really quick, like, oh, this is no big deal, no problem, I can help you cancel it, then if you kind of brush it off really easy, it's easier for them to get over that too. If they have a question when they're enrolling as a coach about the fee, you can say, that's going to cover your websites and customer service and all the behind the scenes annoying stuff. If you ever decide you want to refer people, get your products paid for, or build this business, you get 25% off all your products. So you actually only pay $97 a month on Shakeology, but I added in the $16 fee to give you the $113 price amount above. Does that make sense? Because when I'm in my script, when someone says that they're ready to join me, I think we all probably do this by now, but I say, great, there's 2 options to join. They both cost the same amount. The first one is you pay, $160 now, and then you order as a loyalty plan or coach membership. And in the future, you'll just pay $113 on your shake, right? And then I'll break down and say what that is. Or I say you can order as a regular customer and pay $160 now, but then you'll pay $130 on all your future shakes. So when they're enrolling and they see this $15.95 a month thing, that's when I would reply with this. Okay, and in closing, just recognize that objections are a part of your job. And if you are getting the same response, like if people are like, I don't have time, I don't have money, I'm worried, I'm afraid, you should, if you start finding a theme in what people are saying to you in private messages, you need to start taking that public because you know that they're watching you. So if you're getting the price objection over and over again, you need to be making a post about like, man, I remember 3, 6, 9 months ago, like 2 years ago, when I first started following my coach, I thought there's no way I could afford that. And here's how I decided to make it worth it. And now I can't, never looked back, never been healthier, Whatever that objection is that you're getting a lot, make public posts about it and tell it in a story kind of way so that when they're reading it, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, me too, right? She also couldn't afford it, and now look at her life. But you just want to make sure that you're evoking emotion so that as they're reading it, it's like you're talking to them. But please, when you get objections, you can't get discouraged. You can't let that stop you from building your business and continuing to plant those seeds and talking to people. You cannot take them personally. They are everything about that person and really nothing about you. And if you let them stop you because you take it personally, or you get offended, or you get discouraged, or whatever, the only thing that, like, the only person who really suffers from that is you, because then you don't get to build this business. So I will share this with you guys, but I was just gonna see if in the chat if there was any questions, and if you have any, feel free to type them in now. Oh, if there's any, okay. So Karen asked if there's any suggestions for shake objections based on too many carbs for their keto diet. So I don't know about keto diets, but there was a post in a page, some page, I don't know, or someone asked. And usually if you're on a keto diet, you can have like 25 grams of carbs a day, I guess. And so Shakeology fits in that requirement. But I don't feel like I get that objection a lot, but if I got that objection, I would be like, oh yeah, totally get it. I actually have a lot of people following the keto meal plan, because I do have people that are like low carb in my groups. So that's not lying. I would say I have a lot of people in my groups that are following a keto diet or low carb diet, and they just work this in because they know all the nutrients that it gives them. And when you work it out, it really is only like 9 grams net carbs or something like that. So if you're getting that objection a lot, then I think you probably need to create a script for that, for how you can combat that. Okay. There's lots of love that one, but I don't know what you guys are referring to. Oh, Allie said, blaming it on IG is literally my favorite. Use it all the time and people respond to that more than the initial invite. Like, hey, I don't know if you saw this. A lot of times it goes like IG filters them into my other folder, but just wanted to send a DM, probably is what that means. Karen Lloyd said, do you have any personal development recommendations to help stop taking objections personally, to help separate yourself and keep your confidence up? I don't think that there's any, I don't know about oh, well, maybe Get Over Your Damn Self is a book on network marketing. And that talks about objections that you'll get and how you literally just have to get over your damn self. But it sounds to me like you actually just need personal development on confidence, which is pretty much any personal development book ever. So, and I would just say, like, if I'm really in a rut with something, I go back, and rather than like trying to find the next best thing to help motivate me, I've listened to You Are a Badass 4 times. Listened to or read. I read it 2 times, and now I have it on audiobook, so I've listened to it. I'm currently listening to Girls Wash Your Face for the 2nd time. So I go back to personal development that really speaks to me at times that I need it. But also I know that like building confidence comes from getting out of your comfort zone and doing these things and realizing you're okay. So I think, I just would say you just need to make sure that you're doing personal development and doing ones that really speak to you. Oh, Lori, that's a great one. Lori said week 3 of Shift Shop is actually keto-ish, so I tell them to also follow that plan. That's a great idea. Okay, when they want to join as a coach and then ghost my messages, how many messages should I just stop sending? How many messages maybe until I stop sending? So I would, follow up. And if they keep ghosting me, then I usually just space them out more. So like maybe I follow up in a week, then 2 weeks after that, then a month, then maybe 3 months later, or something like that. Maybe 6 months later, maybe a year. Like I just keep pushing it out so that I'm not following up with them and bothering them all the time, but I'm just continuing to keep them, because you never know when people are going to be ready. Right? You just never know. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know any of that. So, and also, like, I don't know what the timeline is between when I started talking to Emily and when she actually signed up, but Emily, I had to invite her to coach 4 different times, and she would ghost me. Emily Favre, she ghosted me and like would just stop replying. And so it was probably over maybe a 6-month period or maybe a year. I don't remember. I have to go back and scroll and see how long, but like What if I would have given up on Emily? What if I didn't invite her that 4th time when she was finally ready to say yes? You know, you just can't give up. Can you explain once again the 15? Yeah, let me actually see if I can get my, hold on, my coach scripts. I'm gonna find them in my drafts because I can just copy and paste it in the chat, and that way, hold on, pulling this up. Okay. So this is kind of what I send now. Look in the chat and just, what? Is it too long? Trying to. It's too long, so I'm gonna have to split it up. I think 1 paragraph at a time. That's the first paragraph. And then this goes right after that. And you can see, like, over time now, I've started just putting things into my scripts before, like, being, what is that? Proactive about objections. So you can see now in here, in my script that I send to everybody, I'll say, either option will sign you up for monthly auto ship, super easy to cancel with an email, live chat, or phone call, right? So that now when I send this, they don't say, oh, I don't want to sign up for auto ship. I just immediately am more proactive about those objections. So I'm tackling them before I even get them. And you'll see that, like, and I've just started learning, like, what are the common things? You know, then a lot of people ask about that $15 month fee. So now I break everything out in the prices here. So, and of course I have all the prices in here. And you would just take out, if you're talking to someone from the US, you'll take out the Canadian and the UK pricing, whatever. Okay. Trying to see. So my issue is that I have is my warm market is dry. And it seems lately my invites or transformation posts are not getting as many likes and comments. What's the best way to tap into my cold market? I make a lot of my posts public. So you cannot in the beginning rely on attraction marketing. If your posts are public and you're putting yourself out there, but you're not sending messages behind the scenes, that is why you're running out of people, or that is why you don't feel like you're tapping into your cold market. You have to do the work. I am now attraction marketing, but for the first 4 years of my business, I was sending messages every single day to people when I was scared, when I didn't want to people I was that I went to high school with that I did not want to send messages to. I did the work. And there are so many times we're on social media so often that you're like, I'm working, or you're on a training call like this. You're like, this is work. I'm doing a lot of work today. Being on this call, unless you implement, does not move your business forward. Training does not move your business forward. Posting on social media doesn't even necessarily move your business forward. Making connections and doing the behind the scene work moves your business forward. So if you're not hitting success, 100% of the time, if you're not hitting Success Club, my guess is that you're not doing the vital behaviors, which is you're either not being proof the products work, you're not doing personal development and working on your brain, or you're not sharing, connecting, and inviting with people. And I don't mean in a public way. You should be sharing, connecting, and inviting behind the scenes. So if you're doing the vital behaviors, you should be hitting Success Club. If you're not, you should reach out to your coach, give maybe some example, like screenshot some conversations you've had. But also you should start tracking it. There's a new business activity tracker that Beachbody came out with, because a lot of times, you know, when we're dieting, or we're like trying to see results or something, you think like, oh, I'm super on point. And then someone says, okay, write down every single thing that you consume for this next week. And you don't count that like leftover, you know, 2 chicken nuggets that your kids didn't eat, or the like handful of chips you were eating while you were making dinner, or, you know, whatever. You don't count a lot of those things, but when you put pen to paper, you can see, oh, that's what's happening. Same thing with your business. You think you're working all day because you're on social media all the time, or you're doing training and you're listening to calls and stuff. But if you're not actually sending messages and starting connections and getting behind the scenes and inviting people behind the scenes, not just by posting your transformations, behind the scenes, then that you can see pen to paper. How many people did I actually invite? Right? So I feel like most of you probably are like, I don't know, I'm just, you know, I'm running out of people to talk to. Impossible. It's literally impossible to run out of people to talk to. Like, there are, how many, what is it? 400 million people in the US. We have 350,000 coaches. Most of them aren't even working the business. Maybe there's a million people. What is it? A million people drinking Shakeology. So that leaves 399 million people that you can talk to. That's just in the US. Doesn't even count UK or Canada. So when people say I'm running out of people to talk to, I hear I'm not doing the work. That's what it is. I hear Rev. You guys want to see Rev? Hey, what are you doing over here? I hear you crawling. What the heck? All right. Oh, if you need more confidence to help build more personal development to help build your confidence as a leader, I just started listening to Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. It's her newest book. So good. So get that one. How do I pronounce it? You're snotting big time, girlfriend. Sorry. Okay. Okay. What training should I look for that tells me how to find people? I usually recommend 3 different trainings. The one that's really good about how to find people is the one by Colleen Curtis. We had her earlier this year. So if you look in all of our files in our team pages for team call recordings, look at the Colleen Curtis one. That one's amazing. But I also think the one by Haley Christian is great, and the one by Christina Battaglia. Okay. All right, I don't see any more questions. Wait. So hopefully this was helpful. I will post in the team page, or I sent this to all the leaders, so you should see this like in the team page. Stacy, she said, ouch, okay, tough love's just what I needed. I promise I'm gonna get uncomfortable. You said it. Yeah, but also the reason that I get so passionate about it, Stacy, is not because of you. It's because, like, when I get passionate about something like that, it's because it's something that I hear over and over and over and over again. So I'm so thankful to the one person who's brave to ask that question in a public space, because everyone on this call needs to hear it. I hear, I don't know, 15 times a week that I'm running out of people to find. And I'm like, girl, knock that shit off. It's BS. Oh, sorry, I see little ones. It's BS. So I give you tough love, Stace, but I'm giving everybody on this call tough love who is using that excuse. It's not that you're running out of people, it's that you're not doing the work. Bethany says, I had some coaches say they don't small talk with any prospects. I have found it's a great way to build rapport and relationships with them. How many people build relationships with them before inviting? Am I doing this backwards? I don't know. Maybe it depends on the person. I'm 100% relationship building, or now I'm 100% scripts. But when I was doing it myself, and I didn't have all the messages that I have now, I was 100% relationship building. It would be back and forth 5 times before I finally would send them the link. But I feel like if you're someone who doesn't like that, like, again, your vibe attracts your tribe. So I'm super sensitive to being sold to. I hate feeling like I'm a number that I'm being sold to. So I was very sensitive to that, and I would want to make sure I was talking to people and getting to know them. But if you're someone that's like, I just want direct, like, I wouldn't want someone coming at me and like trying to make small talk or something. If you're sensitive to it, then the people you want to attract are going to be sensitive to it as well. So that's why I think different strategies work for different people. Yeah, you're not the only one, Ashley. Ashley said, I'm missing the inviting personally part outside of my IG posts. I have to find a way to get over it and just invite. Yes, comfort zones are a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there, least of all your business. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hopping on. remember, you'll get all this stuff, but I really appreciate it. So once a month, you guys know, we have these calls during the day, so there's no call tonight. But thanks for hopping on. Bye, guys.